Well, turns out I was pretty thorough in clearing the cave. Nothing else to be found as far as I could see anyway. The renegade students have been dealt with, and we should still be able to snag some prestige from KotOR for it if we play our cards right. That will come a bit later, I think. One thing I forgot to do, though, was to show you guys that Masasai ceremonial armor that we got last episode. I'll go ahead and throw that on real quick. I can find it. Where the heck is it? Ah, it's probably back up here somewhere. There we go. Masasai ceremonial armor. Throw that on. Again, I'm not really a big fan of the whole mustard yellow underlay, but I really like the look of the armor itself. It almost looks camouflaged, like it's made from the hide of some creature or something. It's definitely one of the more ancient-looking armors in the game, and I can get behind that. I'm probably going to hang on to it, actually, because it's not attached to any particular figure from history, but I think Mac would want to keep it just as a curiosity or a general piece of Sith antiquity. He wouldn't want to part with it, I don't think, so we won't. But anyway, let's put our robe back on. I think we were wearing a dark Jedi Knight robe, if I'm not mistaken. There it is. That's more comfy. Anyway, I think we're done here. One last thing I should mention before we leave. If you happen to return to these caves in KotOR 2, you could potentially find the secret entrance to the tomb of Ludo Kresh, depending on your alignment. Just to give a little backstory there. Ludo Kresh was a Sith Lord that lived during the Great Hyperspace War, about 1,000 years before this game. But what really sets him apart in particular, though, is that he was chief rival to the reigning Dark Lord of the Sith at the time, Sadow. So bitter was this rivalry, in fact, that after learning of Sadow's crushing defeat, in typical Sith fashion, Kresh laid a trap for his return. Basically, with the Republic harrying the remnants of Sadow's fleet back across Sith space, it was the perfect opportunity to rid himself of both his rival and to claim the mantle of Dark Lord for himself. The plan being, upon Sadow's emergence from hyperspace, he would be caught between the hammer and anvil, Republic on one side and Kresh on the other, with nowhere to run. Sadly, however, things didn't go exactly to plan for poor old Ludo. As he sprung the trap and engaged Sadow's armada, Sadow ordered a kamikaze strike on Kresh's flagship. Needless to say, Kresh died horribly, and ironically, Sadow managed to escape both enemies in the confusion. Best laid plans of Sith and men oft go awry. Regardless, I guess the ancient Sith built a tomb somewhere in here for their fallen lord, though obviously not in the valley proper, because technically Kresh never ascended the throne, as it were. I suspect what they interred in it, however, was little more than his memory, because as I had said, he died rather explosively in orbit. In any case, these Sith were probably among those who fled beyond the Outer Rim after the conclusion of the Great Hyperspace War, when most of the other Sith departed and their empire collapsed. Really, their whole civilization collapsed when that war came crashing down around them. But I digress. Let's head out of here. behold the Valley of the Dark Lords, necropolis of the old Sith Empire. In awe, Telemachus realizes just how fortunate he is, as so few Jedi have ever been able to walk the sacred valley and live to tell of it. As he feels the sand shift beneath his heels, he wonders if it might be the same dust that once shook from the sandaled feet of Marco Ragnos, or Sadow in ancient times. Frozen beneath the gaze of these silent kings, he wonders if in 1,000 years someone else might be stood where he stands now, reflecting on his passing as he reflects on theirs. It's very humbling, and at once he feels very small, as if just another specter, barely leaving its mark on the history of this shadowed place. With a slight shudder, he'll leave his reverie and continue on. Well, folks, here we are in the Valley of the Dark Lords, much maligned for good reason. Some of the greatest Sith Lords are buried in these tombs. Got some boxes over here, nothing in them. A Sith archaeologist, eh?
Sorry, I can't talk. We have to excavate this valley with hand instruments. There's all kinds of old traps left behind that still work.
Yikes. Hate to run into any of those while I'm scooting around in here. Also have a Sith student lending a hand.
You aren't assigned to the excavation team, are you?
No, you guys have got a pretty sweet little gig going on here. I really dig the stratified layers that they have. It's good attention to detail on Bioware's part. Somebody on their team must have knew a thing or two about archaeology. Very familiar to me. Also have some Sith guards. Jeez. Imagine the force it must have taken to bring that thing tumbling down. I wonder what happened here. Maybe it was the Republic or something when they were driving the Sith off of Korriban at the end of the Great Hyperspace War. Though, you can almost imagine two Sith Lords duking it out for supremacy on top of that thing, too. Amazing what the imagination will do. Just let it run away in a place like this.
I'm not here to get you out of trouble if you do something stupid, student. Enter the tombs at your own risk.
Duly noted.
There is an old Sith hermit that has been haunting this area, we understand. Watch out for him.
Interesting. Do you by chance have anything else to say?
The second tomb on the left within the valley is the tomb of Sadow. It is off-limits to all students, unless they're in the company of Master Uthar.
Yes, the tomb of Sadow, where Sadow is not actually buried. He died on Yavin 4 sometime after killing Ludo Kresh. It was there that he fled with the remnants of his fleet at the end of the Great Hyperspace War. Essentially, he founded a new Sith Empire in exile and forced his remaining Masasai warriors to construct a number of great temples to his glory. As far as we know, he was the first and only Dark Lord of that empire, but his ghost continued to stalk those halls for millennia until it was sought out by Exar Kun and Ulic Qel-Droma after they received instruction from a different Sith spirit on Korriban. Kun, of course, eventually dispelled the ghost of Sadow and took up residence in those temples himself before beginning his own war against the Republic some 40 years ago. The rest is history. Dak Vessar.
Greetings. I don't think I've seen you at the Academy before. Here to investigate the ruins.
Who are you?
My name's Dak Vesser. I'm assigned to the Valley Ruins, as you can see. We've been painstakingly uncovering these tombs for many months now.
Dak? That is you, isn't it? I hardly recognized you.
It's been a long time, Jahani.
What are you doing here? Did you fall to the dark side?
I didn't fall, Jahani. I had my eyes opened. And don't look at me like that. Last I recall, you were having your own doubts.
I was. I'm not anymore. Dak, you could...
Save it. The Jedi aren't for me, not anymore. Look, I'm not going to ask why a couple of Jedi are here in the Valley of the Dark Lords. I don't want to know. It's better that I don't. In fact, I'll just get out of here and leave you to whatever it is you're planning to do. Fair enough?
Running away? Again?
Why not? It's what I do best.
I take it you two know each other?
Yes. Isn't it obvious? I don't want to talk about it here, however.
I don't think there's much to talk about.
Have it your way, Jahani. You always do. Look, I don't want to be here after you leave. There'll be too many questions, so ask what you have to ask and I'll be on my way.
What can you tell me about these ruins?
Well, it seems that the Sith once inhabited Korriban a long time ago. There was a fortress here that was destroyed at some point before the Sith abandoned the planet completely. Why they left, we don't know. Perhaps the Jedi drove them off. The tombs in this valley are the only parts of the fortress we found mostly intact.
Made any unusual findings?
Some. Most of the interesting stuff is still in the tombs. But Master Uthar prefers to leave them to be explored by the students as a challenge. In time, they will probably become safe enough for us to enter. Until that time, however, we're stuck to digging up the valley piece by piece.
It's amazing that they've remained undisturbed this long. The tombs are dangerous?
Definitely dangerous. Most of the students that go inside them don't come back out. Master Uthar prefers it that way.
What can you tell me about the tombs themselves?
There's 4 tombs here. On the right are the tombs of Ajunta Paul and Tulak Hord. On the left are the tombs of Marco Ragnos and Naga Sadow. All 4 were ancient Sith lords.
Tell me about the tomb of Ajunta Paul.
That's the first tomb on the right. There's a rumor that there's a powerful artifact still in there, but nobody's retrieved it yet. That tomb supposedly has ancient battle droids and traps that are still functioning. It's amazing that their power sources have lasted so long, really.
And what of the tomb of Tulak Hord?
That's the farthest tomb on the right. We don't know much about Tulak Hord, unfortunately. The Takata have a nest in that tomb, I think.
The Takata?
A local pack animal that's very dangerous. Occasionally, the guards track down a queen and kill it. That usually pacifies them for a bit.
What about the tomb of Marco Ragnos?
That's the first tomb on the left. Someone mentioned that a crazy droid has holed itself up in there, but I don't know much about that.
And the tomb of Naga Sadow?
It's the second tomb on the left when you enter the valley. Naga Sadow was the leader of the old Sith Masters here, we think. Darth Malak found something in there a while back, however, and ever since then only Master Uthar can enter it.
What did he find? Do you know?
No. A lot of the discoveries are kept secret, even from the students. I only heard that Darth Malak found something there by rumor, to be honest.
Have you heard anything about a star map being found here?
A star map? No. I haven't heard anything about that. Something like that could be in Naga Sadow's tomb, I suppose. That tomb's off limits to the students.
I have to go. Thank you, though.
So do I.
Goodbye, Dak. And thank you.
Goodbye, Jahani.
Journal entry added. The rogue droid. You have been told about a rogue Sith droid that has escaped from the labs and holed itself up in one of the valley's tombs. The Sith have not yet decided to go into the tomb to remove it by force, leaving it to some enterprising Sith hopefuls to take that job upon themselves. Juhani. Juhani? What is going on with you? Let's calm down.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan?
I was wondering if we could talk.
What is it you would like to speak to me about?
Tell me about this Dak Vessar.
There is little to tell. Dak and I were both Padawans. We joined the Order at the same time. He was a kind man, but frustrated. He felt the Jedi were too controlling, too limiting, more so than I did. When he decided to leave the Order, he asked me to come with him. He said he loved me.
But you didn't love him.
No, I didn't. I enjoyed his company as a friend, but nothing further. I had no idea he felt as he did. He was angry at my refusal. I assumed that he would get over the hurt in time. I suppose such feelings can fester and darken, and they never go away. He reminds me of what I was when you found me in the grove. I feel sorry for him, but he has chosen his path, hasn't he? If I thought he would accept an offer of help, I would give it. Let us just move on, please.
Well, we'll have to see about that. I've never actually been able to do Dak's quest up until now. I'd never brought Juhani with me on Korriban, so I wanted to see what it was like for myself. But, God, get a load of that view. I know I'm just taking my time and basking in the glory of this place. It's just so well designed. So thematic to KotOR. I can't imagine this game without Korriban. I'm so glad they put it in. These ruins look like they have, like, blood pouring down from the stone. Pretty badass. I suppose it would be more like iron or something in the stone leaking from them. But, yeah. Got all these obelisks. Sith archaeologists. I believe we
Sorry,
spoke to
I'm
this one
rather busy
already.
with the excavation planning right now.
Yeah. Sith Patrol. Hey.
I'm not here to get you out of trouble if you do something stupid, student. Enter the tombs at your own risk.
Very well. Be sure to do that. But first, I will loot this metal box for a life support pack and adrenal alacrity. Come in handy, I suppose.